Welcome to the Sign and Thrive podcast for notaries. I'm your host, Bill Soroka, founder of NotaryCoach.com and author of 8 best-selling books designed to help notary entrepreneurs serve more clients, make more money, cultivate more joy, and build a business that thrives beyond loan signings. Over the last several years, since Laura, Jen, and myself released the industry's very first training and certification program for trust and estate signings, there's been a wave of notaries that have fallen in love with these types of appointments. And it's still a new frontier, a blue ocean of possibilities for professional notaries and those we serve. And if you're listening now and you love these estate signing ceremonies, as they're often called, you're going to love this conversation today with the CEO of My Life in Wishes and the creator of the Legacy Vault, Jon Braddock. Together, we've cleared a pathway and built a roadmap to take the true visionary notary entrepreneur to the next level within the estate planning realm by becoming a legacy notary with the Certified Legacy Vault Advisor program by My Life in Wishes. So, Jon, thank you so much for coming back to the show. Always love having you on. For the notary listening right now who's never heard of this, tell them in one breath what a Certified Legacy Vault Advisor actually does.
Great question, and thanks for having me back, Bill. It's always great to powwow with you. Well, I'll do a 2-breath and a 1-breath. So this will be the 2-breath one. A certified legacy vault advisor is a professional designation that certifies an advisor's ability, advisor being notary, the ability to help individuals and families organize their lives, create clarity beyond just the state documents, and most importantly, make things easier for those that they love. Now, 1 breath. CLVA is the certification for professional notaries who help families create clarity, not just stamped documents.
Powerful. I'm so excited about this. So for those who maybe don't know what the Legacy Vault itself is, from a family's point of view, what does it do?
Well, as I would say, it eliminates the morbid scavenger hunt. If anyone listening has not heard that term, what that is, if I don't make it home tonight, that's when my kids have to fly in from all across the country and dig through dead dad's drawers, filing cabinets, lock boxes, and try and piece together my life. I call it that because my wife and I lived through it when her father died. And that process took us over 10 months. And he just lived a quarter mile up the street.
Yeah, pretty intense. So what does the Legacy Vault actually do, and what makes it different from those that just store documents?
Well, I always like to say back when I grew up in the 60s and 70s, death was pretty easy, right? We didn't have technology. There wasn't a digital world. There was a desk drawer. It had the checkbook in it. It had the location of everything, and everything was self-contained. And we didn't move much. Everyone was pretty much rooted in their hometown. Now, flash forward to today, while death is still pretty easy to accomplish, the cleaning up is not, because we are transient. We travel, we move. We store things, maybe in our Google Drive. Maybe we store them in Dropbox. We don't get bills any longer in a mailbox out front of our house. They either show up in our inbox, which my family wouldn't know how to access because they don't have my password, or they're simply on auto pay and recurring pay and coming off my card. So, as I like to say, if I didn't make it home tonight without a legacy vault, My kids would not know who my attorney is. They wouldn't know who my accountant is. They wouldn't know who my financial advisor is. They wouldn't know at what banks I banked and what kind of accounts I had. They wouldn't know where I had other assets, such as a 401k or an IRA. They wouldn't know if I had life insurance. They wouldn't know if I had a will or a trust. And that's just the beginning. With everything that's on auto pay and recurring pay and passwords and digital identities, the list goes on and on. And so without that, my family has to go on a morbid scavenger hunt. But with that, in my legacy vault, it has all of that information, including the important documents like the trust, like the life insurance policy, and everything is contained so that from anywhere on the planet, literally at the touch of a button, they will have access to everything that they need to know. It's almost as if I am answering, I'm speaking from beyond the grave. I'm answering every question that they absolutely are going to have.
Well, and you're the one that taught me this. There's 125 questions or so that have to be answered within 48 hours of somebody passing away.
Oh,
And that's
it's
overwhelming
insane.
when you're grieving in the first place, but stuff we don't even think about.
Yeah. Well, here's the first question you get asked. So, my father-in-law was still laying on his bedroom floor. Michelle and I were in the living room directly beneath him. And the first question the medical examiner asked, she says, "Where shall we take dad?"
Who
Boom.
knows that? Yeah.
The man has been deceased for 2 hours, maybe three. We are in total shock. And there's 15, 20 funeral homes in town. I don't know. Who do you recommend? But then after, you get there within 24 hours, you're sitting across the table from a funeral home director. And the questions begin. Well, what do you want? Do you want to be buried or cremated? Good question. Well, if he wants to be buried, what kind of box do you think, he'd like to be in and that? And then they take you on the tour and do this kind of stuff. Well, are you going to do this at the church, at the parish? Are you going to have the priest do the service? Or do you want to do it here at our funeral home and have another? Oh, and also, most often families will have a gathering afterwards, some kind of a meal, those kind of things. Oh, we always recommend you put together memory boards and with pictures and have all those kind of things. Oh, and don't forget about flowers. I can recommend a couple of different florists here in town that can do it. And all while they're telling you how sorry they are for your loss, they're sliding a bill across the table. And for most people, when they look at that and it's like $15,000, $16,000, if it's going to be a funeral and an internment and a burial, when does this need to be paid, Mr. and Mrs. Funeral Home Director? By the time we put dad in the ground. Oh, did he have life insurance
Right.
to pay for that?
I don't know.
No, we haven't started digging through the house yet. And boom, it's crazy.
It's so intense and people don't think about it. And even we already know that there's like 70% of the population who doesn't yet have a will or a trust in place. But even the people who do have the paperwork in place, a will, a trust, maybe you do have a healthcare directive and you have those things. Because we hear this a lot, right? Oh, I have a trust, everything's taken care of. Or I have a will, everything's taken care of. But what you just described isn't even covered in most of those documents. And I think that's the real powerful part of what Legacy Vault does. People are locked onto the documents, the instruments, which is lovely. That's pulled us forward so much with people getting their affairs in order. But there's this whole other realm that has to be explored too. And it sounds like the Legacy Vault, and I know the Legacy Vault really covers so much of that.
Oh yeah, and the other thing too is for a lot of people, if someone's sliding that invoice across the table to you, and you look at that number. Um, do you have that kind of liquidity? Do you have that much room on your MasterCard, Discover, American Express card? Can you pay for it? A lot of people think, oh, well, dad had a will, he's going to leave me some money and that kind of stuff. Well, guess what? If you have a will, there's going to be probate involved. And before family can touch a penny of that money, if this is the last one to go, if the spouse is still alive, it's a different story. But if that's the last one to go, and it's just a will, you can't touch a penny of that money. If you're the financial power of attorney, that died the minute that he died. And so we have to pay for this stuff. How do we do that?
Well, which brings up your point too with the life insurance, right? And that's another heartbreaking statistic for me all the time is people who do have life insurance. They paid the premiums, they've got it, but they just didn't tell anybody about it and they don't have a place to keep it. The family has no idea. And there's right now over $1 billion in unclaimed life insurance benefits, which blows my mind. And you presented me the other statistic. The other part of this is that life insurance is just a tiny little segment of unclaimed assets. There's the state treasuries have over $70 billion in different kinds of accounts that have the heirs don't even know they exist. They're not even looking for them.
Exactly. It's like, my background. And so before we started this company, 11 years ago, I was in the financial services world. And I used to talk about life insurance all the time. And when people get life insurance, I said, life insurance is great. It's the best tool you can have. I don't care if you make $40,000 a year. I don't care if you're Bill Gates or Elon Musk. They have life insurance. They just have it for a different reason than we do. But life insurance is only good if someone else knows you have it, which is why I always say to people, what is it that you know that nobody else knows? It's up here. That someday they're absolutely going to need to know.
Yeah.
And that's a big...
Because some secrets don't deserve going to the grave. I always mess it up.
Yeah. Well, no, you're spot on. I mean, some secrets should not be taken to the grave.
Yes, that's
arguably there are some that should, right?
But that's a different episode, though, Jon.
Not this one. Well, for those who haven't heard it, so my father-in-law lived in the same house for 40 some years. He had a little home office. I've showed you a picture of what it looked like, Bill, which is mind blowing. He had boxes on top of boxes. And I mean, it was a total storm. And so we're digging through things, trying to find, is there life insurance? Is there, other assets we don't know about? And so we found a safe deposit box key with no identifying bank. And so we go to the two banks that he absolutely banks at. No box. And so I'm thinking, he probably had a box, but when it came time to close the box, he couldn't find the key and all this clutter. And so he paid the fee to the bank to drill it out. And so be it. But my wife, she's a little bit more tenacious than I am. And so she kept scratching at that itch. And 2 weeks later, after calling every financial institution, banks, credit unions within the geographic radius, we found a box on the north side of the city where he had no other accounts. And the only people that knew he had that box there was the bank and him. And of course, he wasn't talking anymore. So when we got into that box, we found 752 paper shares of IBM stock in that box. We'd have never found it. It would be that, which was worth back in 2013, it was about $130,000, $140,000. If we'd never found that key or if it just gotten tossed or whatever, that money would be sitting in state treasury somewhere.
That's exactly how it happens, right?
Until you one day have an aha moment and say, oh, I should search for unclaimed property.
Yeah. When does that, I mean, when does that randomly pop into your head? But that's why there's $70 billion still sitting in there right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we've got this incredible product that makes this huge difference in families' lives when they're going to need it the most. So, how does a notary entrepreneur who goes through the certification program with My Life and Wishes, what do they actually do with this? How did these two come together? Walk me through it.
Well, that's great. So what we did, and I say we, you and I created this just a little over 2 years ago, Bill. You opened my eyes to the notarial world and the opportunities that existed. And so we created a way that our certified legacy vault advisors can make this available to the general public. I mean, it could be uh, current clients, past clients, family, friends, neighbors, people in the civic groups, BNI, Chamber of Commerce, your congregation at your church. Because at the end of the day, everyone is going to pass, and making this available is probably one of the most precious final gifts, I think, that people can leave for families. The one question that a lot of people or statement that I get from a lot of our partners is, "Oh, hey, Jon, I'm not a salesperson. This isn't about selling. It's simply about conversations." And so we teach, mentor our partners into how to have those right conversations with people. That's just part of the natural flow. We provide them with the materials, videos, everything that they need to share with people. Because when you ask someone, if you didn't make it home tonight, is your family going to know where to find the estate documents we just signed?
Yeah.
And what about your Facebook account? Does not to take that down or get into your Gmail or your Google Drive? And everyone says, nope, they don't.
Mhm.
And so for our partners, it's just, um, instead of, collecting a mileage fee and a $30 stamp, or if it's a trust, $250, and that this is a way that they can add to that appointment up to another $500
Yeah.
with the program by making it available, having the conversation. And when people hear it, they say, oh, I need that.
And that's exactly true, and that's what I said when I first heard about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. And everybody in my family needs that too. And those are the way that you've structured these starter conversations or these sparkers of conversations is that's exactly what happens. And that Tammy video too, guys, there's a Tammy video on the website as well. It's 2 minutes and 9 seconds. It just walks a family through what the Legacy Vault does. And when they're done watching it, they're like, how do I get one? It works just
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
No, and go
You
ahead.
know, it's a problem that plagues far too many families, right?
Yeah.
When someone dies. And when we lived through the experience, people would, say, hey, how's it going? And that kind of stuff. And say, oh man, we're still digging through this and trying to find this. And everyone has a story. They say, oh, let me tell you about when my mom passed or when my brother was killed in the military or whatever the scenario was. And everyone has either seen it happen or dealt with it directly themselves.
Yeah. So, what's the pathway to certification? Like, how do they learn to use all of these tools and how to speak about this with your new boot camp?
Yeah. So what we do is when a professional notary joins us and partners with us as a partner, what we do is we provide them with all the training, all the tools. We build them a custom login site so that when an individual, their client, logs into their legacy vault, it doesn't look like My Life and Wishes. It looks like them. It's their brand, which keeps them always top of mind. We take them through the process of how to open accounts, create accounts, We provide all the customized branded materials for them, how to hand it off to their clients. We provide all the ongoing service. They don't have to become the experts. But when they join us, the first thing we do is we bring them through onboarding, which is where we give them the introductory level. And at that point, they're live. We encourage them, set your own account up immediately, because you have the ability to sell these or give them away. Give them to your family members, the people who are closest to you, because what happens is they start to use it. And then they say, oh, you know what? Uncle Charlie should have this, or my next door neighbor, or my good friend. And that's where the sales start to come from. Our boot camp, or the certification process, is 4 1-hour modules. We're going to do in the first ones here in a few weeks, where we go through all the steps. And the early steps are the importance of setting accounts up correctly and going through and making sure that is, just spot on, which is a real easy process, but mistakes get made. The second is conversations. How do we really engage and talk about this with people? The third, we talk about, let's think a little bigger. Doing group presentations and those kind of things. And then finally, we wrap it up with kind of what I call the manifesto. It's kind of our mission, our purpose, the pledge, if you will. And then there's a certification exam at the end. I call it an exam. It's more like a quiz. Most of our existing partners, I'm sure, could go through and score over an 80% right now. But upon completion of that, they'll get the Certified Legacy Vault Advisor official badge that they can display on their website or any marketing materials, as well as it is a credential. They can put after their name. It would say Bill Soroka, CLVA.
Yeah. And
the beauty of that is for those that don't really like to bring up conversations, or maybe you're doing a signing for an estate planning attorney or something, and he doesn't want you to talk about anything else you do, right, or present anything. But if you hand him your card and say, oh, Bill Soroka, CLVA, I've not heard that. What is that, Bill? That started the conversation. Yeah. Then all you have to say is, oh, well, I'm a Certified Legacy Vault Advisor. Well, what's that? Well, it's a program, or it's a platform that's designed to make things easier for those you love. And boom.
Ignites the conversation.
Right.
Exactly. Well, let's talk about that a little bit too, because you dropped that hint a little earlier about how they can increase the average appointment value. In addition to that, though, too, there's just so much other potential. And you had mentioned $500, and I know the retail price of the lifetime membership of the Legacy Vault is $495 right now. So maybe you can explain for our listeners exactly that exclusive product, first of all, that they get when they become a Certified Legacy Vault Advisor, and then how the pricing and the total pricing freedom works.
Absolutely. So if someone went directly to my website as an individual and wanted to sign up for the Legacy Vault, they have two options. They're either going to pay us $12.95 a month, or they're going to pay us $129 a year. That's it. This
is a regular consumer off the street, just wants the Legacy Vault for their family.
Direct to consumer. Yep. And we don't market direct to consumer. They still find us and get there, but that's all we offer. When you and I, Bill, started to create this program and wanted to create something that was a huge differentiator for our professional notaries, we decided that a lifetime option, a one-time only payment that they could make available to their customers, would be a game changer. And so we set that price at $495. So the value proposition there is, if someone says, well, why can't I go to My Life and Wishes, just get this on my own? And the answer is, well, you can, but you'll pay $129 a year, each and every year ongoing. Through me, I have an exclusive arrangement where I can make it available to you for $495. Now, if you're going to live, 3.5, 4 years, you got a good deal. Every year you live after that, it gets better and better and better. Okay. And so you always have it. Now, that's our suggested retail price, but our partners have total pricing freedom. They can sell it for whatever price point they wish. We have some that'll do a buy one, get one. So it's making the price, because if you're going to buy one for your own father and mother, well, you may as well buy one for your father-in-law and mother-in-law too, because they'll have to deal with them in the future. Many of our partners offer discounts to military, first responders, teachers, wherever your passion lies, right? Members of your church group. And many times they'll usually offer it for $100 off. So it's $395. Even if I sold it to you, Bill, say, you know what, you're just a really good pal of mine. And because I love you, I'm going to give it to you for $250. Okay. Now think about this with me for a minute. For me, for a Legacy Vault partner to set up an account and give it to you, that takes me 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. 5 minutes. I know of nothing in the notarial world that I can do for 5 minutes and make $250. That's legal anyway.
Yeah, that's right. And that's half price.
And that's half price.
Yeah.
But think about it. And I hear all kinds of numbers. So, and I'm not a notary, so I don't know the answer. But most of the notaries that I know and work with, they'll see 20 people in a week, sometimes more than that.
Yeah.
So let's just say 80 to 100 people in a month. Now, if you casually bring this up using the speak that we say, because it's not selling, it's having conversation. If you just out of those 80 people, one person said yes a month, you're making over $5,000. And it takes you 5 minutes each month to set that thing up and give it to them.
$5,000 for the year, right?
Right. You'd make $5,000. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're seeing 80 people, let's say you're only seeing 50 people, but if you casually mention this to people, not, hey, I have some software you should buy. No, we're not selling software. We're selling clarity. We're selling peace of mind. So, hey, do you have a good, secure place to store those documents so the family can find them when they need it? Well, no, I'm not really sure where I'm going to put that. Well, let me tell you about something that we also make available. It's called a Legacy Vault. And then they can hand them the brochures and the information on it. So if you're having that conversation with just 50 people, realistically, 4 or 5 of them are going to say yes.
Absolutely.
So what's that number if you sell 5 of them a month?
Well, that's $2,000 a month, right? At $495.
Right.
The $24,000 a year.
That's I don't know. I mean, some people might poo-poo those kind of dollars, but I sure don't.
No, that's a huge increase to the bottom line for a mobile notary on the road. But to me, that's just scratching the surface, right? Like that's just talking about maybe potential clients that you might be working with, but there's a much bigger picture here because as you so eloquently put, that everybody who has a pulse needs this. And when you start factoring in the personal network that a notary has, and if they're a hustling professional networking mobile notary, that network is huge. That may be several hundred people, it could be several thousand people. And on top of that, and you mentioned this a little bit earlier too, there's the small group presentations, and this is really powerful with this particular certification too, because that one to many leverage really works here. So imagine a Chamber of Commerce meeting or a BNI meeting or your Toastmasters meeting where you have to get up and present all of these groups that you're a part of or you heard from, or these group homes, facilities, medical facilities, independent senior living, all of them have these activity directors that are desperate for programming. They're looking for people to either come in and entertain or inform their residents. And the presentation, and John has all this built for you guys, but the presentation, I think you call it the 10-minute talk, right? So you
Mhm.
can get up, you can talk about this, you can ask the powerful questions that get people thinking, and then that's how you can do more good, bring more of the families you want to serve, the legacy vault, and then make considerable revenue as well.
Yeah. You know, so I'll ask a question, to the listener. Um, why did you become a notary? Why did you become a notary? Sit with that for just a second. Um, I'm sure you didn't wake up one morning and saying, "Man, I just want to do acknowledgments and jorats. That's just what I want to do." No, I think you probably became a notary because you like helping people.
Hands down, 90% of us.
That's what the Legacy Vault is all about. It just gives you an even deeper way to help more people with something that ultimately is going to happen to them and their families. And I just think that serving our community and our society at such a high level.
That's what this is really all about. And I think this is the part that is so appealing to the notaries in our community and the current partners too. Guys, there's over 100 notary partners right now that participate in this program, already feeling these effects of helping families, of sharing this, and then of course partaking in the revenue. And before we move on from the revenue, because that's really not what this is about, although it is absolutely the most lucrative um, opportunity under the notary umbrella right now. In fact, I had a conversation, a coaching call with a notary the other day who's in a situation, absolutely has to start making money right now or else kind of thing. And I'm used to being in those situations. I spent half my life in those situations. And I told her, look, if this is real for you and you're not afraid just to spark conversations with people, the Certified Legacy Vault Advisor Program is the fastest way to earn money right now. There's nothing holding you back once you sign up for the program. And it will be way more lucrative than driving all over town for $60 to $80 appointments from signing services, because one sale will put you at $500. And guys, I've done the math on this, right? If you followed me at all, you know that if you want to make $100,000 a year, all you have to do is to make $400 a day, 5 days per week, 50 weeks per year. And ding dong, you have made $100,000 a year. And this is the absolute fastest way to that.
Yeah. The other thing, and the notary that I think you had a conversation with the other day, because I had a similar conversation. She asked a question, said, "Do I have to do this by myself?" And I was like, "Oh, absolutely not." She says, "Because my husband, he knows a lot of people. He's got a big network. Would it be cool if he just sent out, emails to the people that he knows in his network saying, with the right speaking stuff in it?" And it's like, absolutely. And so, it's, if you are just on your own and you don't have a spouse or something else, fine. You can still be highly, highly successful. You don't need someone else. But think about the impact if you do have a spouse or a significant other, life partner, or someone that knows people. I mean, it's not just you, it's everybody that you know within your universe, and there's all kinds of ways to capitalize on that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, if you're looking for a family business, like if you've got a spouse who recently retired and is driving you crazy, here's an opportunity to put them to work that would benefit everybody. But here's the other important piece, right? We're talking to notaries. We built this program for notaries, but there's nothing about this program that requires you to be a commissioned notary for this. So if you find yourself like in that gap between commissions, or you've let it lapse, or you're on the verge of retirement looking for the next thing, or you want to blend in your sister or your kids into this, but they're not notaries, that's okay. They don't have to be. Guys, we structured this program, and there's so many other opportunities like this that leverage notaries for a reason, because of the perceived professionalism of the role that you play. There's trust, public trust in the office, more trust in the office of notary public than many, many other professions out there. It's just ingrained in people. They just automatically do. So a lot of these other opportunities under the notary umbrella leverage that. And this is an example of that, but it's not a requirement. You don't have to be a notary for this program. It just certainly helps,
Yeah,
because one of the
we've got
big things
insurance
is,
people, you
what's
know,
that?
we have insurance people, people that were notaries, but they're kind of,
Yeah.
didn't want to do stamps and they got into the, life insurance area and they're doing life insurance and boom, it's a natural fit for that too. So
Real estate agents too, right?
exactly.
Yeah, like there's lots of opportunity here. And what's nice about the way John and his wife Michelle and their whole team work is they're not here to shackle you to rules and you've got to do things a certain way. It's a very open system for that.
And the other thing I'll point out too, Bill, and I don't know if you're going to ask this or not, but so yeah, we go through the onboarding, we have the credentialing process and that kind of stuff, but then we don't just say bye, go do your thing. Um, I always make myself available because I'm a marketing guy that accidentally fell into a technology world, and so I love brainstorming and powwowing. And some ways that we do that is we have a fabulous school community just exclusively for our partners. We engage in there, we share. I put tons of content out there, all of our videos, my podcast goes out there that they can share those episodes with potential clients, those kind of things. And twice a month, we have our partner power hour live Zoom meetings where we share ideas and exchange and talk about wins or maybe challenges that we're having, and we brainstorm. And so you're not in it by yourself. You're in it with all the other partners, and everyone is so helpful. They want to see each other succeed.
Yeah. I think that's one of the most powerful parts of the community too, because there's no holding back, right? There's no like, oh, I'm not going to share this because it's competition. It's not like that at all in that community. They're sharing ideas. They're so excited about how it's received when they do these small presentations, or they get to talk to a family or share it with an estate planning attorney. I think it's a magical thing you've got going on there.
Yeah.
A year from now, when a notary's really running with this, what does that look like for them?
Oh, geez. Well, depending on, if they're running on regular gas or premium unleaded, um, it can look like, hey, I'm making 3, 4, 5 times my initial investment. This is really good. I'm getting referrals. People are telling other people about it. Um, those that really just dig deep into it, the sky's the limit. I mean, they could be hitting that $100,000 a year mark between this and their notarial work or this alone. Because we've had some partners who have joined us. One last September, didn't have a website yet, but she was super excited. We gave her all the materials and the training that she needed. And in the first, I think it was 2 weeks after she joined us, she had sold her first 3 uh, legacy vaults.
Yeah, it's powerful
So,
stuff on the revenue side too. What's the shift that you see happening in themselves and how their clients or community see them as well?
oh yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and I never name names, but we've got a big handful that just their confidence level, their outgoingness, when they've realized I'm not selling this. We have to always take our mind off of I have to sell this. We put our mind shift on I have to help. families need clarity. And those are the kind of conversations that just come so naturally to the partners once they get in. And we first started doing this exclusive program for professional notaries in April of 2024. So most of all of our original partners have now they're now into their third year
Yeah.
with the program, and
I
we
think
love
that's
those
very
guys.
telling. Yeah, they're staying here because, and when I talk to them individually too, you can tell they love being able to offer the service because of what it does for families. That's what fires them up. The money's nice, of course. And it's nice that they get total pricing freedom so they can price it at whatever they want. They can discount anything they want without asking anybody permission. And you don't ever have to share that revenue with My Life in Wishes, right? It's all your revenue. This is not an affiliate program. You sell it for $495, you keep $495, right? So, John, as
Exactly.
we wrap up here, for somebody who's maybe curious about this, but maybe on the fence, what would you say to them?
If you truly like helping families, if you understand or have experienced what it's like when a loved one passes, trying to figure everything out, if you believe that providing people with a roadmap to help their families, um, if you're looking for a bigger or deeper way to serve your community, and if you're looking to uh, improve your revenue, obviously falls into that, then this could be a perfect expansion of the work that you're presently doing, and one that will provide a lot of meaning and heartfelt impact when you provide this kind of clarity to people.
Yeah. I think there's so much more beyond the stamp and the signature for us in the estate planning realm in particular, right? Most of us love these appointments because of that. It's delivering more than just documents, it's delivering peace of mind. And this program takes it to a whole new level that opens it up. And this is that blue ocean that I talk about. There's so much opportunity here. And John and Michelle, you guys are on this mission, which I just love being a part of it. This mission to protect 1 million families across the country with this legacy vault. And we know that it can't happen just with your current clients, right? Just the estate planning attorneys, the financial advisors. We've we have an entire army of professional notaries who meet more people in a week than an attorney sees all month long, usually, is how it goes. You guys can be a part of this mission too. So I hope that you will. And if you're interested, of course, I'll give you the details here in just a moment as well. John, any closing thoughts or words for us?
Um, no, we would love to have you with us. This opportunity, I understand. I mean, might not be right for some people, and that's fine. Um, Many of you think, yeah, this is exactly what I'd like to do, and elevate the profession and differentiate myself from all the others, right? And that's fine too. So if you've been looking for an opportunity and this sounds interesting to you, then this would be the best time to get in.
Yeah, best time. John, as usual, thank you so much for being here and always delivering value to our community. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in and sharing your valuable time with us. If you'd like to learn more about the Certified Legacy Vault Advisor Program, please click the links in the show notes below, or you can simply visit notarycoach.com.